Welcome back, everybody, to another thrilling episode of Thrive Your Program with Coach 2Js. This is your host, Jeremy Jones. We're talking about Week 21, Saturday, May 25th. So we've got a mental toughness context, and we want to use this time to talk about, Murph is probably the first workout everyone thinks of when it comes to mental toughness. But we actually want to remind people of what it was, who Michael Murphy was, and why he was, why it's so important that we keep in mind this in mind when we do this. What his sacrifice was, the sacrifices of all those people who are serving, so we go into this with a mental with a mindset that's going to say, like, this is going to be really hard, it's going to be painful, but I'm going to do this voluntarily, and see what I'm made of, and also to honor those who have given their lives in service to others, not just their country necessarily, but anybody who's sacrificed their life for others. And so it's kind of take on a little bit of a somber tone, for a minute, but I do feel it is important that we honor those people with that mindset, and to say, when you're slowing down, or when you're feeling the suck, to remind yourself why you're doing this, and what those people have gone through. So got a real basic warm up here, and then we're going to make sure people's ankles are good. Probably the important thing on this workout, especially for everyone who's running with weight vests, want to make sure they don't have anything going on with their feet and ankles. And then we've got Murph. So depending on how you do this, for most people, you still could do this in an hour-long class format. I do recommend most of you guys do a big event, so you set it up where you have heats or waves, if you have to, if you don't have enough room for everybody. Ideally, you can just have everyone go at once, which is a lot of fun. But you gotta have enough pull-up bars. That's the only problem with having everybody go at the same time. And if you are going to do that, go ahead and stagger some people, right? So let some people go early, so that they have a little more time, and then you can have the faster people go a little bit later, so that they have somebody to chase, right? So you can let people wait, 5 or 10 minutes before the next sort of wave goes in. But again, even if you stagger them, most of the time is spent in the middle here, so they're all going to need their pull-up station sort of picked out, or whatever. Now, people shouldn't do the weight vests unless they've been training for it, or they're comfortable doing it. This is one of those times where you may let people go do things that you normally wouldn't let them do. If they're been really excited for it, and like I said, they've been training for it, go ahead and let them use that weight vest, right? So they can really accomplish themselves. Now, when it comes to something like Murph, that's really what it's about. It's not really about the time in the end. It's about just doing it, saying that you did a legit Murph, and finished it. Now, once people start getting below an hour, then it starts to become a little bit of bragging rights. But in general, it's really more about just finishing the whole thing. So for those people who are core, or who are more newer people, or people who aren't as experienced, just let them make sure that they pace themselves correctly so they can finish, and so keep have them jog the run, and break up all the middle stuff and take their time, and make sure they're getting lots of water, and all that and everything, and it's really more about, even if it takes them an hour and 20 minutes, at least they finish the whole thing. That's going to be better than telling them no, they can't, right? And unless you personally know that they can't do it. Now, there's always kind of a discussion around like unpartitioned Murph, so like doing 100, 200, 300. And if somebody hasn't done Murph, 3 or 4 times, they shouldn't even try the unpartitioned Murph. You can split this up. Again, the easiest thing to do is, 5, 10, 15 for 20 rounds, so 20 rounds of Cindy. There actually is an alternative way to split it up. You can actually split it up as, I don't know if I mentioned it down here in the notes, but you can actually do it as 5, 5, 5, and then finish with 5 push-ups. So you would basically go 5 pull. There you go. 5 pull-ups, 5 push. And then you go 10 squats. That's what it was. 10 squats. And then 5 push, and then 10, and then 5 squats. Something like that. You can even do like the 3s and stuff. So you can actually break these up more. And it's not usually because of the pull-ups. The reason many people need to break it up, it's usually the push-ups is where people tend to get the most taxed, right? So you can notice that this is the same total. So there's still 10 total push-ups and 15 total squats. But by breaking it up a little bit more, you can actually maintain. You can even split this up to do 8 and 7 on here. So it'd be 8 squats and then 7 squats. Um, there's other ways to split it up other than 5, 10, 15, but some people that's just too much in their head to do, so they like to just do 5, 10, 15. But believe it or not, breaking up those push-ups can make a huge difference for folks. And usually the push-ups are a lot more better quality. So if someone is going to do Murph and they're trying to do it RX, make sure that they're doing it, legit, so they're going all the way down on their squats and they're touching the weight vest to the ground every time and getting lockout and they're not coming off their knees, please, because it's not really fair to those people who do hold themselves to a higher standard to then have people talk about that they did Murph but they didn't really do it, right? Because they didn't do it with good form. Now, there is a team Murph, so this is a great version for people who haven't really been training for it or it's really aggressive. You can split it as desired. So one person working at a time, you can have people do the run, 800-meter run together, so they have a total of a mile. Then they can split up the middle part and then 800-meter run together at the end is a fun way to do it. Again, the health is sort of the half Murph, so they would just do a half-mile run, 50, 150, 100, 150. Still very approachable, especially if you scale these movements. But again, if people are going to be doing Murph the full amount, you can see here we've got. I say the scaling guide is out to about 70 minutes. Again, some people you might need to go a little longer, and if they're close, don't cut them off. Let them finish. But yeah, we don't want this going much longer than that. So we don't want people, if people can't do Murph, if the expectation is that they can't do it in an hour and 10 minutes, maybe an hour and 20 minutes, then they shouldn't be doing Murph yet, right? They need to spend more time preparing for it. Maybe they can do it on their own later on. But yeah, so again, you can have people, the real go-getters, do it on their own. You can have your regular folks doing team Murph. It's a super fun workout. Just make sure that we keep in mind the mental toughness and why we're doing this, right? We're doing it because of people like Michael Murphy, not just him, but also all people like him who have sacrificed their lives to save others. That's it for today, guys. Thanks a lot, and thrive on.